crypto warriors, changing our world day by day. The way of the crypto warriors, can't rely on the bankers, no way.
Good morning, Bix Weir, roadrunner.com. With your morning horn of Z's, your sip of chaga coffee. All right. We're at now or never time. As far as Road to Ruta, especially Road to Ruta private road members, I've been teaching you, showing you, holding your hand on how to get Theta into your own possession. That is ending. We got this brief period. It was just announced. I'll show you in a second. That Binance, which is the spot that most of us get our Theta, is ending the Binance, not the US. It's not on Binance US. You cannot get Theta on Binance US. You need to be grandfathered into the Binance, the Asian Binance. People are starting to get emails ending that service to US citizens, which means they'll be almost nowhere. There's a couple places that I talked about on the private road, but almost nowhere will you be able to get Binance. Why now? Because Binance is about, or Theta is about to go absolutely bonkers. Two things about to happen. One, smart contracts introduced. Faster, better, safer than Ethereum. Number two, and Binance and Theta is not going to tout this. As a matter of fact, they try not to. They try to downplay it. No, we're not the Ethereum killer. Hey, I'm a realist. If your transactions are pennies, fractions of a pennies, to perform a transaction a lot faster than Ethereum on the same, using the same language and protocol, yes, any smart entity, and there's a lot of them out there in the cryptocurrency world that is currently running on Ethereum, anybody and everybody should be thinking about moving over to running their platforms on Theta. It's really easy to do because Theta and Ethereum use the same language. They speak the same language. And why is it so big that Binance blocking US citizens? Because we are in that transition mode. There will be a brief time between when Binance is literally locking out US investors to when Theta is picked up in the US by Coinbase, which they've already made the announcement. We just don't know when. There will be a brief window when you can't get it. So I beg of you, private road members especially, I go to the Theta page. I walk you through how to buy it, how to store it, and how to stake it. You stake a Binance Guardian node. I'm not going to say you're going to be set for life, but you're going to be set for life. Especially if Michelle White Dove's predictions of $2,000 to $3,000 a token prediction comes true. And this prediction has been long coming. And did you guys know that Dick Allgaier, his first image, the first thing that came to his mind, the world's the world's best remote viewer, the first image that came to his mind, the first reading he did for cryptocurrency, the first thought he had was Theta. Why? Because Theta is the new internet. It's like buying the World Wide Web, buying all the companies that the World Wide Web developed in 1990, which is basically the internet. That's what Theta is. That's what Theta represents. But at closing, our friend Jason of 4, Snippy, the man, the myth, the legend. I love that guy. Absolutely love him. And his mini-me son, I love that guy too. I'm gonna set up Snippy's son with his first Theta wallet. Snippy, give me a call. I'm gonna set him up a little tiny cell phone. We're gonna put Theta on that cell phone for his college education. We don't want to send him to college. Obviously, we don't want him indoctrinated, but for his future, so he can be like his daddy. All right, Snippy? But Snippy sent out to his Patreon people. I don't know if I'm supposed to share this. I think he told everybody. Binance is closing US-based accounts. People are starting to get emails if they are US citizens and have a Binance account that they need to close their account within 14 days. I have not gotten that email yet, but obviously I don't store any cryptos on Binance or any exchange, but I do buy my Theta on the Binance, the foreign Binance thing, because I was grandfathered in. And a lot of people do, and a lot of brokers and dealers do as well. Now, obviously, the brokers and dealers can probably still get it. And that's where the Theta page comes in. People like private road members, you got 14 days because we use that exchange before, I think, Moonshot. 14 days till Theta Moonshot. And then there'll be a strange period between when US investors are kicked out of Binance and Coinbase starts up with Theta. Do I think this is the reason why they're shutting down Binance to US citizens? There's a transition happening. And Theta's a gigantic part of it. So it could be. I wouldn't stick my neck out and say, yeah, it's all about Theta. But there will be a void for US purchasers. Those that were grandfathered in. Okay, we are at a point when the Road to Ruta investments, the two big ones, there's three big ones. Number one, obviously, is silver. And I'll get to silver in a second. Number two is Theta, the future of the internet, Theta, and the future of universal basic income, Theta. And number three is Litecoin, the future of exchange as a means of exchange, the number one cryptocurrency, a true cryptocurrency, a decentralized cryptocurrency that will be used when the rest of the world falls apart. And we know the rest of the world is falling apart right now. That's why Litecoin has run. Everybody's like, what's going on with Litecoin? After what? 3 years of them saying, oh, Litecoin's dead, there's no development on Litecoin, blah, 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 blah. Litecoin is the right coin as a means of exchange. If the banks weren't going to fall apart, I would not even suggest Litecoin. It would be in there with everything else. But as the banks fall apart, as we lose that means of exchange potential, that's when Litecoin shines. No, it doesn't shine yet. The Bitcoin Litecoin ratio is like at 230. It's going to 4-1. It's at 230 right now. It might be a little less now. It's going to 4-1 with Bitcoin. I'm not a fan of Bitcoin as anything other than a chunk of security in one spot. It's not useful for anything other than a store of value now. Way too expensive, way too slow. That's why the Bitcoin core developers love Litecoin, because Litecoin can do all those things that Bitcoin refuses to do and be a means of exchange. And that's the number one thing we need during a financial collapse, a means of exchange. Otherwise, we're just locked into this banker criminality. So bravo Litecoin, bravo Theta, bravo Silver, bravo Road to Ruta members who are just locked down, sitting in their lawn chairs watching this all unfold. The big moves are ahead of us. But luckily we have a given time frame of the next 2 months. They're going to have to decide who won the election. They're going to have to go through the banking collapse. We're going to have to go through all the things humanity needs to go through to get rid of the criminality, get rid of our controllers. And it's happening. So yes, right now you can get a Theta Guardian node for $6,300. I mean, you can buy any amount of Theta you want right now. But I would suggest getting a Guardian node that literally works for you by mining Theta Fuel. Theta Fuel will find its moment in time. I think it's way undervalued. The ratio is way undervalued. I've been buying a little Theta Fuel just because the relationship between Theta and Theta Fuel is out of whack. When is Theta Fuel needed? When smart contracts come out, obviously. Right? When we need a universal basic income. That was in the remote viewing session of Dick Allgeier and friends. Another reason I love Theta, I don't care. You can look at a price of any crypto and you can just say, it's rigged. What do? It's rigged. The price is rigged. It's either suppressed or overinflated. You don't know. But there's certain things about Theta that you do know. And that is, number one, is the amount of Theta being staked, meaning the amount of Theta being locked up is continually growing. When I started looking at it, this is from the Guardian Monitor. I started looking at it. We were at less than 1,000, way less than 1,000. And I was thinking, oh, wow, if we hit 1,000, that's one secure network. We're at 1,474. That's a really secure network. And they have plans to go into hundreds of thousands of Theta Guardian nodes. How do you do that? You drop the minimum from 10,000 to 1,000 Theta. And as the price goes up, I think when it hits $1, when Theta hits $1, they're probably going to drop the minimum to $1,000 or 1,000 Theta from 10,000 Theta. And then everybody and their mother is going to open up a Guardian node. And there'll be hundreds of thousands of people guarding a very secure blockchain, an extremely fast platform for businesses. That's my take. The amount staked is well over 50% now. We're at 52.3% and climbing. It will get to 90%. People will be buying Theta just to be participating in the internet of the future. I have no doubt. People keep asking me, why aren't you on Theta TV? I like Theta TV, but it is a centralized part of Theta. Theta has decentralized parts and centralized parts. They can't get around, the government coming in and shutting down Theta TV. But they can get around the decentralized open source software that's out there, the Theta Guardian node, the process of sharing your bandwidth. And both the good guys and the bad guys want that to happen. And don't forget the biggest thing, which is Theta never ICO'd. Theta never broke the SEC rules about ICOs. Everyone else is going to have to go through the gauntlet. Obviously, Reggie Middleton was chewed up by their gauntlet. Salt got out of their gauntlet now. That's why the salt price has been rising. They got out of their gauntlet by paying up to the SEC. Any crypto that hasn't been already discussed by the SEC already discussed Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin in their DAO announcement back in July of 2017. They said Ethereum was a security, but isn't, so they're going to let Ethereum go. Bitcoin and Litecoin were not securities. They never ICO'd. And they aren't centralized anymore. That's why Charlie Lee sold all his Litecoin. This is a big game, and we're coming down to the end game. And if you have cryptos in your own possession, meaning especially Theta, especially Litecoin, in your own possession, if you have silver in your own possession, you will survive financially. I don't know if you'll survive physically. That's up to you. That's up to all of us. We're going through the birthing canal of, it's a freedom birthing canal. We're going to get squeezed like you would not believe over the next 2 or 3 months. It is so hard to live in Northern California right now. My friends and family, I can barely talk to them. And they can barely talk to me. They know what I think. I know what they think, and I know how they got there. Hopefully they'll start to open their eyes a little bit. Oh, by the way, my petition for Gavin Newsom to dig into what really happened got brought up on Tucker Carlson. Check this out. Well, he doesn't mention Road to Ruta, but I was screaming about it, and a news affiliate of Fox down in LA actually ran with the ball and did some digging. Check this out.
Well, tonight we've got it for you. Decades from now, our descendants will look at this one image and know what it was like to live in America in the year 2020. We'll show it to you in just a second. But first, some context. Gavin Newsom is the governor of California, our largest and for a long time our most prosperous state. About 40 million people live in California. So far, 2 of them under the age of 18 have died of the COVID-19 virus. So naturally, Gavin Newsom has shut down the entire state. Businesses are shuttered, people wear masks even as they eat. Large groups are forbidden to congregate. Thanksgiving itself is on its way to being canceled. It's a tough way to live, but Californians have no choice.
Does that ring a bell? Does he start sounding like me a little bit? Like, 4 or 5 days ago? Check this out.
This is science, people. And Gavin Newsom is California's epidemiologist in chief. He commands obedience, and the serfs obey. With that in mind, the San Francisco Chronicle broke a pretty amazing story this week. Governor Newsom recently attended a birthday dinner up in wine country at the French Laundry. That's one of the best and most expensive restaurants in the world. There were 12 people at Newsom's dinner. And to civilians, that number seemed to be a clear violation of Newsom's own rules. But as we were told, it really wasn't. It turns out that Newsom was simply celebrating the birthday of a longtime friend of his, a lobbyist actually, called Jason Kinney. A spokesperson for Kinney described the night this way, quote, "This was a small, intimate 12-person dinner held outdoors with family and a few close friends to celebrate a 50th birthday."
Now, first of all, he's not just a lobbyist. He's the bagman. He's the bagman for Newsom. He's the guy, he's the fixer. He's the guy, all the thing Newsom does bad, he's the guy who comes in and fixes it. He's also a lobbyist for many entities. You want to get inside Gavin Newsom's inner circle, you got to go through Jason Kinney. You want things done, he's your fixer. He even got Newsom to approve 6 fracking wells in California right after Newsom said they're going to ban fracking. That's how powerful this dude is.
In other words, no big deal. For his part, Governor Newsom assured his suffering subjects that, quote, "Our family followed the restaurant's health protocols and took safety precautions." So really, ladies and gentlemen, it was nothing. Just a small, intimate dinner held in nature, under God's blue skies, just a few close friends staying safe and following the protocols to the letter.
Meet Melio, a free online payment solution
Sorry about that,
tailor-made for...
Sorry about that. I'm going to skip this ad. There we go.
Mandated by the state that, in fact, they run. So relax, people. No one's getting Rona here. That was the story. Now the photograph. We have the picture thanks to Fox 11 in Los Angeles, one of the rare local stations that still does reporting. It's a picture of the birthday dinner up in Napa. It turns out it was not held outside. It was held in a private room, and not a spacious private room either. All 12 people were packed in tight, shoulder to shoulder, breathing on each other. No social distancing here. Not one of them is wearing a mask. A steam room in central Wuhan could not be more contagious than this dinner. Gavin Newsom's birthday party was a germ factory, and his guests were human petri dishes. But what a guest list it was. Next to Governor Newsom sat the CEO of the California Medical Association, and one over from him, one of the state's top health lobbyists. Together, the two of them represent tens of thousands of physicians, credentialed men of science and women of science in the state of California. So if you're wondering why, if you live in California, you can't have Thanksgiving this year, or visit your mother as she dies alone in the hospital, it is because of them and people like them.
That is exactly true. It answers 4 or 5 of the questions I had. I had more questions. I had word that it was a bigger party, but they just weren't sitting together. I can't prove that. I do know that the person who took this, it was another participant, supposedly who wasn't with the Newsom party at the restaurant. The person who took this said they had to see that glass door in front of that. You got your floor, your ceiling, your 3 walls. That's outside with the chandelier. That's outside. Apparently, they were so loud, they had to shut the door. That was one of my questions. Did you wear masks the whole time except when you were eating, like is mandated in California? Did you raise your voice? Did you sing songs? Did you have speeches? Apparently, it was so loud that they had the other restaurant people dining there asked that they shut the door. They were getting way too loud, which is another thing they broke. They broke every single one. But the key is that the new thing I found out, we got 2 of the top people who made the decisions, the science people, in the room with Gavin Newsom, made the decision to shut down California. These are the experts. They're sitting in that room. And who paid for the dinner? Do you think these experts who theoretically work for, nonprofits paid for a French Laundry dinner? The timestamp on this photo was 6:20 in the evening. There's a 2-hour mandate, and French Laundry dinners last 4 to 6 hours. Newsom said, the dinner started at 4 and we got there at about 4:30. There's your 2 hours right there. How long did they sit there? I guarantee you. And I hope that one comes out. Let's see the receipt for the dinner. And the reason I'm asking these really invasive questions is they've shut down my friends and family's lives and livelihoods. This is extremely personal to me, and it should be extremely personal to you if you or anybody you know has been affected by this shutdown stuff. But here we have the guy who made the decision, Gavin Newsom, and the guy who he claims are the experts. The CEO of California Medical Association and the state's top health lobbyists, sitting there with their wives breaking every single rule. Clearly, they're not afraid of dying. They are not afraid of dying, but they want you to be afraid of dying. Good job, Tucker. There's more questions to be asked, but I'm just excited that it got national news. Sign the petition. Not that it matters now. You know, what do petitions ever do anyway, right? But at least the word is spreading. And if anything, it should force you and give you the credibility to call out these hypocrites. And say, if they shut down fully, which they plan to do, small businesses, medium-sized businesses, and individuals, lock them out of working, they will win. If they do it a second time, they will win. The destruction of the restaurant industry will be immediate. The destruction on personal wealth. The destruction of everything. But that's always been the plan. Destroy the middle class. Destroy small and mid-sized businesses that make up 75% of the employment in the United States. Destroy capitalism and turn the United States into a socialist country. That has always been the plan. And socialism moves to communism, and we are completely effed. That has always been the plan. It is an elaborate plan. It is long planned. And there's only one group fighting it. We should have every citizen in America standing up and fighting it with Trump, Q, the good guys. They are fighting it. Keep fighting. You want to kill the bad guys? Let silver run free. A silver moonshot destroys the banking cabal. It destroys it all. You free silver, you free humanity. Right now, the battle for the 50-day moving average silver is so obvious and apparent. Silver is sitting at around $24. The funny thing is, the longer it is held below the 50-day moving average, the lower the 50-day moving average gets. Right now, the 50-day moving average is about $24.50, and we're sitting at $23.94. So the battle for the 50-day moving average is moving at the exact worst time for the cabal. Their massive short position, massive, it's about, about over 300 million ounce short position. They got to do something about it. And they know year zero, it's all over. This is year zero. We are coming into the December silver delivery month. The biggest delivery month ever was 17,200 something contracts back in July. And everybody's like, oh my God. They delivered 86 million ounces of physical silver in July. But December is always the biggest month. And where are we right now? With 5 trading days left, we're at 64,000 contracts. 64,000 contracts is over 30 million. Four times the amount that was delivered in July. Now, these will go down. There's only 2 things these guys can do, the shorts can do. Number 1, they can ride out their short into the December delivery and have to deliver the COMEX silver. Where could they get silver? Only one place. 2 places. One, from JP Morgan. JP Morgan is not going to give up any more silver. Number 2, they can pull it out of SLV because they are authorized participants in SLV. SLV is a con. SLV is the silver ETF. It is a con. It is a joke. You don't own the silver when you buy shares of SLV. Who does own that silver is the authorized participant. And that whole con is run by JP Morgan and BlackRock, with Virtu Financial running the high-frequency trading programs to control the price. So we're getting to the nitty-gritty. Right now, 64,000 contracts, 5 more days. They better whittle that down to under 20. I think it'll be over 20, which would be a big deal. And then you have a 20,000 contract delivery demand. What happens? You either settle it in cash, which is one of the options on the criminal COMEX, or you pay up. Either way, massive billions of dollars in hits are going to happen unless they get this thing way down below 10,000 contracts. Where do I think it'll end up? Probably between 20 and 30,000 contracts. And where are they going to get the silver? They're going to pull it out of SLV. So look for price insanity between now and the end of the year in silver. And again, get physical silver in your own possession and hang on to it. We don't know what the price is going to do. It could go to zero or it could go to $1 million an ounce with a click of a mouse. You can get physical silver at Miles Franklin. Send Andy Scheckman an email, andy@milesfranklin.com. I've been screaming this all year. Yes, even when silver was knocked down to $12. We had extreme lows and extreme highs in silver in a single year, and the CFTC does nothing about it. Nothing changed in the mining of silver, in the use case for silver in the last year, but you had extreme highs and extreme lows in the same year. That's called price manipulation, CFTC. What don't you understand about it? I will be watching this for the next 5 days, and then we're going to know how many people stand, how many contracts are demanded delivery. And then we're going to watch SLV inventories go to zero as they pull it out. That's my estimation. And of course, it could coincide with the stock market collapse. And so you might see the price of silver on this crazy criminal COMEX get decimated to $5 an ounce. But you won't be able to buy any physical. That's the key. The key is the physical. JP Morgan knew. That's why they loaded up on physical for the last 10 years. They knew the ultimate end game is to crash all systems, all markets, even their own bank. And then they can resurrect themselves with the physical silver and physical gold that they literally stole from everybody else on the COMEX. This represents the entire year for COMEX deliveries. Over 400 million ounces were delivered this year, which is insane because there's 2 billion, I think, 2 billion, including all the ETFs and COMEX warehouses, 2 billion ounces. I think Ted Butler was saying around 2 billion ounces. So 20% of it, what had to be delivered, mobilized and delivered. Do you know how hard it is to deliver real physical silver? Even 10,000 ounces is difficult to move. 30,000 ounces 32,000 is a ton, 32,000 ounces. They moved 400 million ounces this year, supposedly, in deliveries. That's what these add up to. There it is. No, they don't have the total on here. It's about 400 million ounces. That's insane. And then we have December. It's going to be 500 million ounces at least, I believe. Anyway, on the good news, all the drama going on in Michigan right now, Wayne County. These are the 2 Republican commissioners who had to approve it, said, hey, we got 70% of these votes are potentially fake. How can we ever certify it? They go into an open forum meeting as they're required to. And the public, a bunch of Democrat crazies come out and yelling and screaming at them, threatening them, calling them racist for not approving a situation in that county where it was obviously, clearly 100% wrong. What's racist about that? What's racist is not allowing the people of Wayne County to have the proper amount of votes counted. That's racist because it's a majority black community. Is that really where you want the fraud to happen in this election, in black communities? That's racist to even suggest it. Black is white, white is black. Everything is flipped on its head right now. Russia collusion. It was the Democrats all along. And yet they're impeaching Trump. The insanity has reached maximum velocity. And it'll just get crazier. Do I think Trump's going to win the election? I know Trump's going to win the election. Do I think the left is going to accept it? I know the left won't accept it. So what does that mean? It means chaos. It means financial instability. And it means literally the destruction of what we knew as America. But that's okay. What we knew as America was a manipulated markets, manipulated people, completely corrupt government officials run by evil pedophile elites. Horrific America is what we're leaving. And we're going to go back to something that we can understand, trust, and can be verified on the blockchain. That's why the U.S. Postal Service had, in August, a new voting system based on blockchain that is 100%. You can't cheat. They didn't implement it because they had to arrest all the criminals. And to do that, you had to have them expose themselves, which they obviously did. So we're getting down to the last moments. I'll be talking to two people today that I'm very, very happy about, very excited about. At 3 o'clock Pacific time, 6 o'clock Eastern time, I will be live streaming with Jean-Claude. Oh, bonjour, Jean-Claude. We're going to be talking about anything and everything. You can go to Beyond Mystic. Oh, Jean-Claude at Beyond Mystic is the YouTube channel. Jean, Jean Claude, or JC. We'll be doing the entire discussion in French. Bonjour. No, it's in English. So 6 p.m. Eastern time, 3 p.m. Pacific time. And I'm also talking with my friend, my very good friend, Bitcoin Ben. Bitcoin Ben. Let me tell you about my friend named Bitcoin Ben who got booted off of YouTube because he was speaking about freedom and truth. Why do they have it out for Bitcoin Ben? I don't know. He wasn't that bad. Obviously, he was talking about things they didn't want him to talk about. And you get booted off YouTube, you're basically in no man's land. And he's going to talk about all the different channels that he's on. But we're going to talk about things that can't be talked about on the mainstream media. So it's going to be a private road discussion. We want to be able to talk about anything and everything. So join the private road and you'll get that one. I'll be posting it maybe today, probably tomorrow. Along with Jenny Moonstone hasn't been available. She's not available today. She's got some issues going on right now. She's fine. Don't worry about it. And I'm going to post tomorrow some Jenny Moonstone outtakes and the best of Jenny Moonstone on the road to Ruta, talking about the Silver Knights, the Silver and Freedom, the connection between spirituality, the battles going on. There are battles going on 3 levels right now, probably 50 different levels, but definitely on planet Earth, we are in the midst of those battles. There's a battle with the ETs, the good ETs versus the bad ETs, and there's a spiritual battle going on. And as above, so below. All this is happening at the same time, and silver is the key on every single level. It is the Achilles heel of the bad guys, of the ETs, and the spiritual evil demons who are attacking us right now. This is it. And Jenny is tuned into that. I don't know if she knew what she was getting into when she joined the Road to Ruta and we do our weekly readings, but she has contributed amazing amounts. And you guys got to get a reading from Jenny. Everybody who does this comes away, their mind is blown. And it's like, Jenny doesn't know me. How would she know anything about my life? Trust me. She doesn't know you. She taps into your spiritual side. And she's tapped into the Road to Ruta like you wouldn't believe. Go to jennymoonstone.com and book a reading. And again, now is the last chance. Now, on the Road to Ruta, as far as getting Theta before the moonshot for Theta, setting up a Guardian node. You need 10,000 Theta. If you're in the US, you haven't been able to do it for the most part. I walk you through how to do it. And that window is closing. So now's the time to join the private road. Go to roadtoruta.com. Join today. And I will send you to your front door 25 Theta fuel. Michelle White Dove, the world's best psychic, or best psychic in America, whatever contest she won. We all know Michelle is tapped into something amazing. She has Theta going to $2,000 to $3,000 per token. So $2,000 to $3,000 times 25, you get the gist. $50,000. If Michelle is correct, $50,000 to $75,000 I'm giving away for a $2.99 membership. And if you're like, bullshit, Bix, that'll never happen. I was giving away 0.1 Bitcoin back in the day, and they were telling me bullshit, that'll never happen. I think the membership was $199 a year. Obviously, $2.99 is less than $1 a day on the road to Rudolph, on the private road. And you get the Bitcoin bin discussion about freedom, which is worth the money. This is Bix Weir, roadtoroota.com. We are in the middle of this birthing fight for our freedom, and we're going to win. It's just not going to be easy. I'll talk to you guys later.